So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. So am I audible and is my screen visible? Okay. So yeah, welcome back to the afternoon session of digital platforms for online teaching and good practices. Once again, my name is Rakesh Kumar Malupeddi. So I'm an independent business consultant. My background is engineering, and then later on I did my MBA. And over the past 11 years, I've been working. So I'll straight go into the details. So the pandemic has given us new way of living, new way of thinking, new way of doing, conducting the classes and everything. And yes, you teachers are the one who has also developed a new way of teaching in online. And this is one quite good, hilarious one about teachers, how the preparation, how their organization is. I mean, yes, it's not true for everyone, but yes, just a funny thing. So, I mean, there there was talk that we will be going back to classes somewhere in December, sometime, and a few months back they were telling, but as we see, I don't think we are going back to the classes within the uh, next year, next June or July when the academic year starts. So the next 8 months or so, you still need to continue these online classes. And so let's explore what are the best practices, what are the best tools through which you can teach your students, and how to prepare for these online classes, such stuff. Let's see. So every one of us, like the teachers, the students, everyone is used to the normal class, the physical class that we have all attended our lives. And online class is a new thing that was in a way forced upon us, right? So how do you make the transition from the physical class to the online class? What kind of solution would make students and teachers both feel comfortable when you're conducting these online classes? So we will start with that before do researching more on what are the tools available. Let's see first what are the main components for smooth transition from a physical class to a online class. So let's see what's the characteristics are, the fundamental components, like we said. So first thing is the virtual classroom. Now you're replacing the physical classroom with a virtual classroom. So that is the basic requirement. Virtual classroom where the teacher is visible to the students, where they see what the teacher is presenting, what the teacher wants to educate them with. So the virtual classroom is the main component. That's the key resource. Now, if you see, like I said, there should be a comfort level for both the student as well as the teacher when you are doing any activity, be it in your physical classroom or in your virtual classroom. So that level of comfort where the teaching and the listening happens in a better way. It determines the student engagement you will have during these online classes. So selecting a good virtual classroom is the best option. So like you are using lot of tools, common tools that we are, like, let's say Skype, Zoom, all this kind of thing. But when you see most of them, they are not really uh, they didn't start it for online education purpose. It's more with for business communication, setting up the meetings, all this such stuff. So But always there will be some parts of the solution which is universal. Let's say, uh, if you want to project something to the audience, now I'm doing it in Zoom to for you for this presentation. So there will always be common points, so where they can use, and people less they did some modifications, some enhancements to suit for teaching for faculty also. But basically these are all business platforms. So just uh, there are quite a few platforms which are dedicated to education, which I'll go through in my later slides. But most of them are most of the popular ones are the business ones. They are built basically for business, but its use is there in everywhere. So I mean, in the morning session itself, I was stressed on the point that teaching is such a complex process, complex and precise process. You juggle with lot of skills, you juggle with lot of tasks. So uh, if you have a proper classroom environment, you are you are eliminating one factor which you don't need to uh, go back again and think about it. So it makes one task at least easier for you, and one task that's available for you every day, whenever you want. So I came up with like four key factors for choosing a solution. So these four factors, there can be, you can add some more also, but I just made the four main factors that I felt it's important for. So the first thing is whiteboard, user experience, and customization. So if you see the whiteboard, uh, now you are used to, whenever you are even explaining in the physical classroom, you are used to write a few things so that there is some way of it's also comes in engagement part, where you not everything is read from it, so you are doing few things on the go. So whiteboard is very important, and then the user experience. So it's your general experience of using a platform. How easy is it to use it? How easy you can do the normal stuff, if not the hard ones, the normal stuff. Let's say in Zoom. So when you start a session, uh, how easy it is for you to share a screen. Let's say, uh, where are the control panel, what are visible, which are the buttons are visible. So the general user experience, and then the customization part. So when we see the students, the youngsters, they are more dynamic in terms of using the technology. So for them, uh, they always feel to add some avatars. They like to change some colors, put in their favorite colors. Just it's just a feel of it. Lo- What lot of people do it. You know, for one thing that comes into my mind, if anybody of you watches tennis, so uh, Rafael Nadal, the tennis player from Spain, so when he comes to when he comes to the ground or the match, so he arranges his bags in one way, and then out of the same mm, place, he always removes the water bottles and then places them in front of him, like in a tree. and and he puts his towel at exactly the same place every time he's in a match or he's in a practice, every time. And when he starts walking, when he takes short steps, then he take long steps, and he taps the ball for long time before serving. So these are small um, steps people take to get used to be comfortable. It gives them a focus. When they do these small steps, it gives them focus, the color gives them focus. So youngsters want to do a lot of customization, and that's where the platforms also, again, since we are saying it's important for all the stakeholders to be comfortable with the platform. So customization is an important factor for them too, and even for some of the professors too. They would like to, add a bit of do some customization, add bit of images and all stuff. So yeah, customization is one part. So these all be related to the look and feel of it. And the most important thing, video and chat options. So your in the online class, you need to present your material. You need to talk to the students or give general announcements. So and then obviously the students need to interact because they are online. They need to interact. If you can make them into groups, or if you divide them into groups. Uh, So yes, now the groups breakout rooms. If you see, in a physical environment, um, most of the time, when you take the class and all, but later on you always divide them into groups, ask them to discuss among themselves. Probably sometimes you give them some problem, make them into a group, ask them to come up with the solutions. So different activities that are engaging for the student. So we need the same facility here too. So if you see all these options, these are the things that is what happens in our physical classroom, and which we want to replicate in online classes also. So these are some of the main components that I came up with. Now the last one is pricing. So obviously all these tools, they charge based on their offerings and their support. So multiple things. So and the pricing is important from finance point of view for the management. So yes, these are the four options. uh, the first three are related to the general class environment, and the fourth one is a it's more on management part. So before I dive into the tools, let's see. You see, you're planning a session for your students, but what do you really need to do, right? What are the pointers that you need to understand so that there is a smooth process of the session happening, right? So the first thing, plan roles for students. Don't host alone. I mean, you guys, you are prepared for your lectures. You're prepared your material. Probably you've done some innovative ways to present it to them. Now, why can't I think I mentioned this point in the previous session too. Why can't you just uh, give this responsibility to some of the students? The active guys anyway, they always take it, and believe me, they will um, once you start giving them these type of responsibilities, they will take it upon them. The next time you don't need to tell them, so they will be reminding you when you have your sessions. So it's all they will take the leadership that we spoke about. So please plan some roles for the students. Probably uh, like hosting, like I don't know, some other, like taking the assignments, something. Have some roles for the students, so that uh, there is a teamwork. There is we are sharing the work, delegating the work. So multiple things, and it improves the students too in terms of their own thinking, their own understanding, their own responsibility levels. So it's a win-win for all of them. Encourage a sense of community. So I think we saw one picture in the previous session when the girl was just stood still when someone called her name. So, but see, if we are not on camera, how do you know someone is paying attention? Or at least uh, we need in a timely manner. We need to see what they are doing, what is happening with them. Are they really actively listening? So I touched upon this topic of active listening. So are they actively listening? Are they uh, you know noting down some points, just few things, so that uh, they you're not just bossing on them, you're just encouraging them to be better, to get better. Then prepare for technical issues. So um, in my first session too, I mentioned, like, when, if, like, for example, if there is a power failure, I said I would I am available on my mobile too, so I can immediately take it up. And yes, probably the screen sharing will not be there, but uh, I can continue the engagement, at least for the time till the power comes back, right? So something, these are the backup plans. What to do, what the students can do if there is a technical issue from your side. Let's start from our side. Now the presenter is having a technical issue. What can the listeners do, or what do you want them to do? Have a plan. Have some uh, make some pointers and put it before the class starts. Inform them ahead of your session, so that they uh, in a way, it helps people to uh, not break out. There is a communication happening, and there is no gap in what uh, they have to do when there is no session, or there is a interruption in between. So prepare some backup plan. Know what they can do. Tell them what they need to do if there is if the session is not going to happen beforehand, so that they will be well prepared. So create an agenda. Uh, See, we are in online classes. There is, uh, if you see the curriculum, they know the curriculum too, but still, creating, like I said, when you create an agenda and share it with them. Now when there is a technical issue, they know what they missed, what they if they if the whole time it's not available, they know what they missed. And if you go to the next topic the next time, they know, when they'll remind you that it's missed. So agenda will help you. It will give an understanding of the progress of the class, what is covered, what activities. If we miss something, at least people know that we missed this. So uh, students can come back to the teachers, or teachers, if students have missed something, teachers can remind them. So having this type of an agenda will again make it a smooth process. And record your session. So always record your sessions. Let's say students students they might have some technical difficulty, they're not able to attend. At least they can look at it, they can uh, uh, rewatch the recordings, learn, and then probably if they get some doubts, they can come back to you. At least it gives them a chance, and it gives you a chance uh, to whenever there is something someone couldn't attend or anything, it gives them a chance to do it again. So now we are creating video lectures, but if you see, we need to make it engaging, right? So that's what the main theme of the session that I started with. When you want to engage them, too much time, uh, one person speaking is also not advisable, because after time, your mind wanders off, there will be short breaks, these kind of things happen. So it's always important for us to create some engaging uh, information for these students. So if you see, these are general tips that everyone tells. So so if you see, use visual elements, illustrate your point by graphs, charts, relevant pictures and photos. All these make your instruction memorable. Avoid long written text. Instead, use titles, subtitles, and important words. Now, the second one, keep them short. Studies show that learners engage more with shorter videos. Your video length should not exceed 5 to 6 minutes. Yes, but this is a if you are making a lecture kind of thing, but in your online class it will be more. But yes, uh, maybe in short intervals you can make them do some activities, or you can make a discussion room and send them into the breakout room, something like that. And then real life connections. So just not give a theory, but also provide real examples and real life scenarios. Enrich your instruction with your professional experience and related topics to learners' lives. So, in a way, in this first session also when I spoke about going down to the level of the student. So all these for theory that we say, at some time it will be lost. So but when you make some real life connection, like a, a, um, a problem that you might have recently seen something, if you relate it to the subject that you are teaching, then you will understand that the students understand the topic very easily. And of course use humor and storytelling. So mm, probably make a couple of good humorous jokes, or bring some humor into the subject that you are teaching, right? So just tell them in a more enjoyable manner, right? So we all um, love when there is some humor in when they're saying, and it's not very dry and constantly feeding to the brain. And use your voice effectively. So voice, the tone. So you need to, when there are words or points that are important. So that is when you need to change your tone, so that the person, in your sessions, in between, when you get the important points, when you change the tones, the interest levels also changes for the listeners. So effective usage of voice, this also helps. And we have seen this in the communication part and in the first session. So these are just the small tips for creating your video lectures, just to some important ones to from, let's say, from what we have learned from the first session, just to engage your students better. Yeah, so a small humorous thing. Once I told chemistry joke and there was no reaction. So I have asked, like, so we have seen only Zoom and Microsoft Teams, but is there anyone else is using? Any other software? Any tools?
Yes, sir. We are using Google Meet.
Okay, you're using Google Meet. Okay, thanks, ma'am.
Cisco Webex.
Oh, okay, Cisco WebEx. Okay. So, ma'am, sorry, I didn't get who has said the Cisco WebEx.
Myself,
So, your good name, ma'am?
Jyotsna.
Joseph. Ma'am, so you are now using Zoom and you are using Cisco. So, which platform do you find it good for teaching?
I find Zoom only, sir.
You find Zoom only.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is
So, like,
convenient for me.
okay. I mean,
For students also.
okay. So, what did you find so hard in Cisco WebEx?
Like audio will not be that much of clarity in the Zoom. The audio will be clear.
Okay, okay,
The
okay,
recordings also, if you listen, no, that will be clarity. Will get it in HD version.
okay, okay, okay. Oh, so you're from which college, ma'am?
I am from Bojredi, sir.
Sorry.
Bojredi Engineering College.
Okay, okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. So, see, if we there are multiple things, right? Cisco WebEx, Zoom, Google Meets, then Microsoft Teams. So multiple things. Someone has put something. Okay, so Mr. Kazi Muhammad Bashir, he has said we are using Microsoft Team. Team has the option to download attendance list of students. Yeah, Team, I think Zoom, above more than Zoom, there are multiple options in Teams. So I'll be covering that later. Thank you so much. Uh, so yeah, so there are multiple tools like you can see, and there are some tools prepared by some of the developers from India. So, for example, my kids' school they use Radius Tech, which is a guy from Hyderabad who has done this. So, multiple tools, but let's you see the most famous ones, right? I'll be touching upon two tools. One is the Zoom, and the other is my Microsoft Teams. I'll just go through how you can, what you can do, what are the features, and just general stuff. And then probably there are a couple of others which normally not much used in India, but which have very good features. So I'll just give a brief on them, right? So let's start. So the first thing we will do is Zoom. So lot of people are using Zoom, and we are right now on Zoom. So yes, it has become very famous from the last 6 to 7 months. So Zoom has really came into everyone's life. So yes, the most spoken platform for the last few months. It's a solid all-round program that covers most aspects that you need for you likely need for your online classes. Like again, like when I said in the first few slides. So most of these platforms are basically, at that time they built it mostly for this uh, uh, business use, where the people now, because of this cross border, a lot of cross border business that is happening, so people wanted to have specialized platforms where they can come and discuss. It's not feasible for them to call over phones every, your team is in somewhere in Europe or US or South America, and from here everyday phone calls is not such a not a wise, but it's not such a feasible option. So these type of platforms gave them a lot of functional advantage. So uh, these platforms have built up, and then the online programs have started. Online educational programs have started. They started using it, and now because of the pandemic, now when you are doing it for your online class. So let's get started for Zoom now. Yeah, the basic one, install the Zoom, learn about Zoom, test your audio and video, schedule your class sessions. Now, always, it's both for the faculty as well as the students. Uh, make Have a look at the controls. What are the controls in Zoom, and then insist the students also know it. Of course, they will, like I said before, they will. You don't need to ask them. They will, in a couple of days, they will find out everything from top to bottom. But still, there will be some students who don't do it. So please ask them to, whatever platform it is, know it, and also ask your students to know it. It'll be very useful. Like I said, when I said you can uh, give the hosting option to your student, so that uh, you are delegating some work, you're giving them responsibilities, you're making them into more into leaders. So it'll be useful for every one of you. So yeah, you can schedule your class, test your audio and video. So using the chat tool can encourage engagement by allowing.
हाँ बुला रहे हैं नहीं नहीं
Yeah. So using this chat tool, you can encourage engagement by allowing more students interact in live rather than just listening, right? So we have our chat option here. You know, you like I say, I mentioned you can always type in the chat if there is if there is any doubt, or you want to share something, or you want to, um, you know, put in some other effective things. So you can always share it. Use the chat option. So it's the basic things. Then screen annotation. So you can use the annotation tools, the text box, free form, draw, pen, shape, lighter. Let's see, we can do something here. So, so just I'm just doing it from my. Right, things like this. You can see the screen annotation. We right. So that's the screen annotation where you can on the go when there is something, or you want to explain more and you want to do something, like your blackboard, where after when you are explaining, you're writing something. So yes, you can always use the tools. Then after screen annotation, yeah, again that the same thing. So you get this, you have your mouse, you can select text, draw, stamp, spotlight. So multiple options. At the end of the thing, you can delete everything, or if you want it to be available on your presentation, you can just still save it. So multiple things. Then polls. Yes, you can set up polls in advance, and when the time comes, you can launch them. Ask the students or the participants to uh, give their opinions. So mm, basic again, the chat, it's the engagement part where you are instead of um, uh, asking them to respond, you can just ask them quick yes or no, or small things. And then verbal and non-verbal feedback. So if you see, yes, you can raise a hand, you can say yes or no. You can ask again, this again, the engagement part where you ask them the feedback, ask them what they think uh, of the subject matter you are explaining to them. Did they understand? Did they not understand? What they feel? So just in a non-verbal way. Now some more options, like I mentioned, uh, whiteboards. Now we have seen the annotation part. So the whiteboards, user experience, customization. Now Zoom, I don't think has much customization. It's very little, but yeah. But still, Zoom has the breakout rooms that we have. But we have the third important function that I have mentioned, the breakout rooms, where you can push them into groups, and yeah. So if you see, you can use Zoom breakout rooms functionality to have students do group work, as the instructor can join breakout rooms, broadcast message to breakout rooms, and end the breakout session when it's time to regroup. The self-select option for the breakout rooms. Host can create breakout rooms with the option for participants to self-select which breakout room they would like to join. If enabled, participants can move freely between breakout rooms without needing the host. So, you can So you can push them into the rooms, or you can give them the option to join their own rooms. So as an instructor, you can join any room, broadcast the message, come out, and after some time, when you want to break out the session, you can just stop it. You ask them to regroup, and then probably if you're given them some task, ask them what is that they have done and all. Yeah. So if you can see the breakout room here. So So yeah, manually automatic. So yeah, you can see the breakout room, the options of creating the breakout room, how many participants you want to assign, participant per room, create the rooms. Right. So then, so next, so this is about Zoom. I mean, Zoom has Zoom. There are multiple other options also, like if you can see the see on your screen, you will be you'll be knowing it, and many of you are using it. So yeah, but Microsoft Teams has much more options than it. So I think Microsoft, they uh, integrated features from, let's say, there's a tool called Slack, where you create tasks, you create who is the responsible owner for the task, you can uh, so multiple things. So, and they have, it's like more Zoom plus tasks, Slack plus multiple other things. So yeah, we'll see what's Microsoft Teams. So Teams is built on Microsoft technologies. So when if you have an eligible 365 subscription, so the Teams is license is enabled for you. So yeah, and organizations can expect excellent performance and reliability when leveraging Teams. So yeah, Microsoft. Uh, uh, so this is the tool that you can you if you want to just attend the meeting and as a guest, you can sorry do it on the web. Otherwise, you can download the Windows the app from the Windows Store, and yeah, you can use the full version of the Teams. Otherwise, you can do it on the web also. But the app is much more uh, because on the web you don't get many uh, uh, features, and also uh, the users on the web are always shown as only guests, so they are not the part of. If you want to break out into rooms in Microsoft Teams, the people in the who are joining on the web are not allowed. So yes, so best option is to download the app and then use it from there. So Microsoft Teams, like, yes, it's useful for tutoring, supervising meetings, smaller department meetings, smaller group classes. So you can see various options with the Teams, like set up meeting, share files and message, set up on Teams, create contact lists. So if you see the last two, the set up on Teams and create contact lists. So this is something in Microsoft Teams, which the good feature where you can set up your own teams, you could set up your own contact lists and all. So these are very good features in Microsoft Teams. And the other things, set up meetings, share files, messages, these are the general options you see in almost every software. So set up a meeting in MS Teams. So there are two ways. Yes, so you can do in any way. You can call them, you can plan a meeting and invite them, or you can plan it, but you don't need to send invite anything. At that time, you can directly call them. So Microsoft also has an option, I think, to integrate with Skype, because they own the Skype too. So yeah, so if you see the calendar, so yeah, from the calendar, from the sidebar in Teams, click calendar, and yes, you can schedule a meeting. A new meeting option is available on the right top. So you can click it, create a new meeting, include the persons that you require to that are required to join in that meeting, and yes, and so click it. That's it. So if you, like I said, direct calling, so you can, if they are added to your contacts, you can start typing their name in search bar at top in the Teams. You get the contact, just click on the contact, click call, and then that's it. You can call them. So this is one good feature of Microsoft Teams. The uh, direct calling option is available. you have your own contacts list. You can in the contact list you can make them. You can put them into groups like your own team or the people who you are interacting frequently and such type of stuff. And once you open the chat, uh, see if you see you can see the history. You can see what the files that have been shared. You can see the calls history, everything, and you can see your conversations. If you're starting a new conversation, of course it will be a new one, but yeah, so then you can, yeah, in the conversation you can send a message. You can send a message. When they reply back, you can use it like an uh, chat option, or you can call it, use it like you can do a audio call, video call. You have multiple options. Like you can see all the files, all the work that you both have done. So like I said, Teams gives multiple options. Now join a meeting. So yeah, once you are invited to a meeting, you receive an email and you click the link to join it. So like Zoom, from your email, you just need to it will prompt you to join on the web browser or the Teams app, launch the app. Like I said, if you see this will prompt you to join on the web browser or launch the Teams app. Like I said, web browser is a guest option. You will not have many features. You can't go into rooms. It's just your common discussions that is happening. You can see. Other than that, guest option is uh, like I said, it's not too much for engagement. But it's better to have the app where you're part of that particular session. And yes, like same like here, you can see the duration of the meeting. You can turn your microphone on, video phone on, show conversations, hang up, share files, show participants, chat options. So everything like it's your general screen bar that you get in any platform. So here you see sending messages, just like you go to chat and then probably if it is with the team, the whole team chats will come. If it is with a member, the member chat only with that particular member the chats will come, and you can type in, direct call them or direct chat with them. So here is a chat option, and yeah. So setting up a contact group. Now, like I said, uh, Teams, you can create your own contacts in Teams, where you can create contact groups, so that sometimes you want to give a message only to these groups. So you can do a group, and then you post a message so that there is a common communication platform within only those people instead of messaging everyone. So yes, here you can see under chat and contacts, you can make your own contact group. This is useful if you want to organize people that you might talk regularly into specific groups. So you can create specific groups and have the common communication, so that everyone is updated on what is happening, what need to be done, and all this stuff, all your regular stuff. Yes, the same way you can do the calls. So you can groups, you can create multiple groups. So yeah, you can see the options here. In the right side picture, you can see on the left side of the screen, on the left side, with the red highlighted with the red, you see the calls option. Then you see create a new contact group. So yes, you can create multiple groups. You can have multi calls, single call. So setting up your own team, adding channels. So this is basically the a bit of hierarchy that you can do in Teams. So I'll show you the picture. Yes, if you see the organization, then the teams, the channels. So let's say, for example, you say the organization is your computer science department, and the teams come to, let's say, the first year, second year, third year, uh, or organization can be you and the team can be the first, second, third years, which whatever. Or you can say the from the organization team is like in computer science, let's say some couple of them are teaching C's, couple of them are teaching Java and all, and then you have your channels of first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So yes, multiple ways you can create this organization in the way you like, in the way you prefer it to be, or your team prefer it to be. So you can create this chat, these groups. And then if you see in the channel part, you can see what are the common conversations that happened across the channel. In this particular channel, you can see the common files that have been shared, the common notes that have been shared, the tabs, the connections. So everything. So whatever is relevant, whatever is the history that has been done in this particular channel, you can see everything. So when you create this, everything will be there, and you just need to go there and click on it and see, you know a very convenient way of uh, accessing the data. So this is all about teams. So like I said, I we need to consider the time factor too. So I didn't go in depth, but outer way, I gave you an outline of how Zoom is, how Teams is. I think someone shared Cisco WebEx. So you see, it always depends on um, your own usage and your own suitability that you select the platform. Uh, there are, like I said, there are four important factors that I have mentioned, like, and based on the uh, all the available options within each tool, you can access you can see them, and then you can take a decision of which is perfect for your way of for your organization, basically. So like I said, after these two, I mean, I have seen one during my research, I've seen one particular um, website which has done a couple of which has given review on a couple of other tools also. So I just took out three of them. I'll show them to you. So these are not much popular in India, but yeah, the thing is, couple of them are really created for online teaching. So like I said, these are all business, built for business essentially, and then obviously there will be always be common features. Then they built something on top of it, and yes, we can use it too. But there are some softwares or tools that are very specific to education field. So just we'll see a couple of them. So this is first one, Vedamo. Like I said, it's an educational software. It has all features of LMS, learning management system, and a virtual classroom. Whiteboard has the most functionality and easy to use. The virtual classroom is specifically designed for language learning, has a lot of tools, and is extremely handy for young learners. So, when the tool is built for specifically for learning, I mean, you will see a lot of functionality is very useful for you specifically. Now, so Vidamo is one such app. So if you see, they have the learning management system, they have a virtual classroom, like the whiteboards that we talked about. So all options are available here. Then there is this LearnCube. Again, this is completely browser based, no software for downloading. Sign up and registration is easy. So quick links to bring up teaching resources from cloud-based platform. Again, if you see, very convenient. There is no download. You don't need to download anything. Very easy, easy to sign up and register. Component, like it said, very easy to bring out the teaching resources and everything. But yes, there is a limitation of it. It lacks breakout rooms and maximum class size is 8. So when we spoke about breakout rooms, right? So we emphasized on what is the importance of having a breakout room. how it essentially aids the development of the students. So yes, then if you want to have such a feature, then obviously this is not the one. And then ManyCam. So this is not a virtual classroom or even video chatting or conference software, but it integrates with whatever video calling app you are using, or a virtual classroom like Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, and allows you to overlay anything onto your camera view. So everything is controlled from teachers, and more capabilities like annotation, overlay, green screen, video in video can be added. So again, if you see, again, this also lacks break rooms. So again, if you see, all the softwares has some features which are advantage, which are good advantage, but there will be always be some limitations. So like I said, what is the strength of your class? What is that you want when you see see the tool? All the tools, the features, and all the specs are available online. You can look at them, see what is best for your organization, discuss on it, and then yes, and then the price factor is one. So just so this is the website englishwizards.org. So they have done this survey in April 2020. That's when the world has entered into serious lockdown, and kids are thrown into these online classes. Kids and teachers are thrown into online classes. So they see, if you see, uh, they have made this into user experience, customization, virtual classroom, pricing, overall rating, and all this stuff. And if you see, where Zoom lacks in customization, Skype lacks in no virtual classroom customization. I think Vedamo, which we spoke about having their own LMS and virtual classroom, has a 3.5 rating in customization. So in customization, it's not too high, but there is sufficient customization there. So if you see LearnCube again, yes, their overall rating is good, but like I said, the limitation is lack of break rooms. I think the number of participants is 8 and all this stuff. And again, ManyCam, yes, virtual classroom, they have it's not so good. So if you see overall, there are advantages and disadvantages for every platform. So it's upon to you to understand which is suitable for your purpose. What suits your purpose, what solves your purpose. So uh, you can see everything. If you ask them, they provide you the demo sessions. They uh, probably through online, or maybe if they have some representative in India, they can come down and do it. But the thing is, what is it, the advantage and benefits of using it? If it outweighs the disadvantages, then yes, that's the best thing for you. So we talked a lot about all these video apps and everything, but how to be an effective online teacher, right? Now, when you are missing that physical presence uh, uh, with the student, how to be effective? Uh, you know, uh, we need to have some practices. We need to follow some practices just to make sure that the kids are in line with whatever you're saying. So uh, just a second. Yeah, so you can see the source. So I have online teaching. It's such a new thing that uh, all are coming into grips with how to be a good online teacher. So yeah, so let's see what are the 10 best practices that you can uh, use to, excuse me, be an effective online teacher. be present. Now, what do you mean by be present? So we have discussed this, right? No physical contact like a classroom. However, your presence, you have to ensure that your presence is there in the digital domain. So utilizing different communication methods to track the students' progress. Discussion boards, emails, announcement forums are just some of the ways. So basically, here we are talking more about how, as a teacher, you may not be physically present with them, but the students need to understand that the teacher is or the faculty is always tracking them, monitoring them, so that they don't become you know too lazy, or they don't slack off. So just you need to make sure the students realize you're watching them. So set clear guidelines for your student and when you will be present. So do it at the start. uh, Make sure that you communicate to them uh, how you will be tracking them, in what ways they need to interact with you. Uh, all these kind of things, so that the students know there is certain communication that is happening with the between them and the teachers, and they need to be attentive. Uh, they need to do the work as it is. So yeah, a small thing from virtual teaching and classrooms. So virtual teaching will never replace the love, the laugh, the learning, the smiles on students' faces, and the aha moments that happen in an actual classroom. The quarantine isn't a break for teachers; it's a heartbreak. Yeah, uh, obviously, uh, the the way we build the relationship when you meet them is not the same as in a call. You know, so obviously we all would love to see the students back in the classrooms, and not not through virtual classrooms. So hopefully, let's hope at least from the next academic session this will happen. So set the expectations. So like I said before, the communication is very important for having this relationship when you're doing it online. And if you see, so have so have what are the expectations that you are having from them, and be open to ask them what is the expectation, or how they want the subject to be taught when in the online. So have a at least, if I don't know, if you have a 40-50 students, you can't it's hard to talk to everyone, but at least the major ones, at least who can give different opinions. If you understand what they want, then you can adjust accordingly, and yes, it will be a wonderful classroom. So always set the expectations, always tell them what you are expecting them to do. Be clear with those expectations. It should not be too much, but at least the important ones that you want from them. So, like I said, be precise and flexible in the approach. You can say, you can put up the expectations, and if let's say the student subject or student says, "Ma'am, no," well, there may be one or two things where can you just be flexible here. You need to take the call based on the importance of the point that they're mentioning, right? So you be precise, but then be flexible in that approach that you're taking. So, like I said, expectations, due to, like when you set the expectations, you're mentioning how they are attending the class, when they have to the deadlines for their assessments, or submitting their other works, or any uh, specific work that you are giving them, how to communicate, uh, online participation, what they have to, how they have to be, or what, when you say participation, how you want them to communicate, so, or how you want them to participate, different things, and the conduct they will be expected to display throughout the course. So what are the uh, things they have to do when someone sees them in a classroom or in this virtual classroom? What is that you expect them to be? So that's what you need to put out. So you need to set the expectations. So yes, this will ensure a clear working relationship. They know what you are expecting. If there is anything wrong, or if they probably sometimes it's part of the student life that they they don't follow everything, but so at least the rules are, the communication is there right from the start, and not you're not putting new rules on the go. So there is a clear channel of communication that you're putting up. So let the student do the work. So 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 this line by Professor of Psychology Bill Pelz, discussed in his Principles of Effective Online Pedagogy, report that the more time the students are engaged in the content, the more they learn. I mean, it's very well said. Uh, we need the students to have take in the content more, so that the more they will learn, the more they think. So yeah. So for them to have this, the opportunity should be given from your end, right? Of course, they're even if you do, let's say, even if not possible for you to give, there a couple of them will do. But as a group, we are dealing with multiple types of personalities, and not everyone is the same. So there should be an opportunity that you need to create. You need to push in somewhere these opportunities for them to do the work, or to do it for themselves. So you need to encourage them. You need to uh, give them the responsibility to work for. So the best way is you can ask them to find and discuss resources, grade their own assignments, and hold student-led discussion in the online forums. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, a couple of pointers on how you can create those opportunities for for the students who are listening. So uh, you can give them the resources. You can ask them to you know grade their own assignments, hold student-led discussions, let maybe ask the students to present some of the topics, see how their presentation skills are. Test their You can test their soft skills, the way they are talking, the way they are presenting, uh, the way they are prepared. So multiple things, right? So yes, you need to let the students do some of the work, so that uh, uh, curiosity arises in them. They will come up with some other ideas, some new ideas, which is useful for all the group, right? So having these kind of activities and creating these kind of opportunities is also an important part of the planning that you do for when you do your uh, for the semester, or for the month, or whatever. Yeah. So a small representation of how taking tests during online school is like. So you see the gate, and you see the open space through which you can enter, and when you ask the students not to open any other tabs other than the test, or other than the class, students are like uh, it's very hard for them being digitally so active. I don't think it's hard for them not to um, play with multiple tabs. So this is one point, you can communicate to your students. At least, tell them, uh, at least not to concentrate, not to do too many, or, you know, best to avoid completely. But, it's not, most of the time, I don't think it's possible. So best thing is at least make sure make sure to communicate to them that they should, even though they are open, they should not be distracted by such things. So nurture a supportive online community. Now you see, now we are doing online classes. So uh, where is that community feel that the students have when they sit in the class? They're with their friends. Uh, you know, uh, it's not the same when you sit in at your home and uh, listen to a class. It's uh, completely different. They're used for almost that what 15, 16 years. They're used to having sitting with their friends and listening to class. That's kind of a outlet for them to express themselves. Uh, so when you support online community, when you nurture this type of online community, at least that they feel little bit better than what they are. So students should feel the support you are providing. Encourage to students to discuss in general forum, step up small groups, encourage in feedback from as many students as possible, understand the behavior within the group. So when you ask them to sit in a group, so you can ask them to give some feedback to you, you uh, probably from their own feedback on their friends, how their friends are taking the classes, how they are feeling about the curriculum that is being happening and everything. And then create coursework that caters to all learning types and allow students to flourish. So like I said, we have multiple students and multiple types of personalities. So uh, our coursework should be, it should cater to all types, at least to certain extent. If you see, um, now we talked about going to the level of the student, but when you go down to that level, still there will be people who are even below. And at some point it's impossible for any instructor to completely go to the student level, to the bottom of for every individual. So at least to a certain level you need to create a coursework, so that uh, even if not only the active listeners or or the technically strong uh, students that are in that get interested with your course, it should be the average guys, the guys who are not performing well. So all these people, they all will have different learning types. And obviously there is, again, when we discussed cultural awareness, someone coming in from a linguistic schooling, they studied in their own language in their schooling, and then now they're doing it in English. So we need to cater to multiple, we need to take care of all these scenarios when you create your coursework, so that these people are don't feel that they are left out. Everyone should be inclusive in the group. They should feel that as a teacher, you have identified their drawback, and you have worked on it. So when they feel such support, I'm sure they will also come up with something, some effort to uh, make sure your efforts are recognized. So yes, and always feedback from students. So always ask them what is happening, how the lessons are going. But but just I'll explain you later on about the feedback. So think before you write. So what will happen is when when you say you can uh, you can talk for 1 minute, and if you think there is something else, you can extend for another 10 seconds or 20 seconds or another 1 minute explaining what you meant. But if there is a written text, once you sent it out, that's it, it's finished, right? Now what will happen is, if it is not precise, it's not, if it's not crafted well, there can be a lot of interpretation or misinterpretation. So the, and any, it can be interpreted in any way that they like, right? So especially it's important when you are evaluating, or when you are doing their assignments, or response to the assignments, you know. So just make sure it's very simple and clear and polite ones, so that there is not too much open-ended words, so that anyone can take anything. And uh, so being precise is very important here. So again, the feedback that you, in the previous slide, we talked about getting feedback from the students. Now this is about the feedback you are giving to the students, right? So be precise on the feedback you are giving to your students. Make sure they understand the feedback that you are giving. Make sure they uh, the reason that you are the reason, or the the main point of your feedback is for them to improve. That should be the main concept, rather than they're thinking it's some sort of uh, you know you're criticizing them. It's not so your reason to give them the feedback is for them to improve, not, but it's not for you to criticize. So be careful on this part. Be uh, be very clear of the feedback. So ask for feedback. Now we a couple of slides back we said we need to ask the students the feedback. But why uh, you see, there is a lot of importance in feedback, because you will understand, or you get a lot of insights from it. And this is useful not only for you, but as a group in future. uh, it gives a lot of when analyzed properly, it gives a lot of meaning. So the always the feedback is important. So yes, periodic feedback should be requested, but frequency, again, uh, every week, then the feedback process gets diluted. So you need to understand when you are asking for for the feedback, when is the last feedback taken. Did you add some or every time the feedback should not be the same. There should be some customization in every feedback, based on the probably the course you discussed in that particular period of time. So something like this. So uh, again, periodic feedback should be there, but you need to take care of the periodicity. You need to take care of the questions. They should not be repeated questions. And when they give the feedback, don't accept, or again, communicate beforehand. General statements should not be there. They should really explain what they really meant, so that uh, it gives a little bit more insight into their thinking. So ask them to not to be very generic, but ask them to be very subjective. So yes, the feedback should cover everything from content to teaching methods, any areas required for improvement. So yes, probably you can even ask them how they're feeling about the platform you are using. Did they come across any new platforms? Because they will have their friends, some peers, in other colleges who are using probably some other things. So and probably students, they come because of their like I said, their digital awareness. They come up with some wonderful insights, so, and they share it with their friends. So uh, feedback should cover everything that is happening in the class, not just uh, not just about the lesson or how they heard the lesson and everything, but everything. You need to ask where there is scope for improvement, or where they feel the improvement should be there. So like I said, the feedback, you see, there we need to get it in a way that it's useful feedback and not just a process that needs to be done, right? It needs to be specific to the requirement of the students. So foster personal relations with each student. Now, you are you do this when when you are doing in your physical class. You will have relationship with personal relationship. You are tracking them very keenly. You're talking to them because they are in front of your eyes. You're talking to them probably uh, once in a while. The in the college you frequently meet them. So but how to do this when you're online, right? Still you need to maintain that teacher and student communication, right? That relationship. So so students studying online can sometimes feel deserted and alone in the digital classroom. So it's up to you to make an effort and reach out. So we have to already talked about this many times. So active and passive listeners or speakers. So people who are not so active, they sometimes they feel alone. Probably now we have parents. Both parents are working, so they are not going to the class. When I said before, the college is one outlet for them where they express more freely because they are with their own age, with their own groups. So no, it's not there. So sometimes uh, loneliness builds up. And when we said a lot about communication with student and between teacher, when you're present with them, when they know that the teacher is looking for them. So that's when they will uh, at least they will feel to come and talk to you. So you need to make sure that when there is something with the child, so you should always make an effort, reach out, talk to them, see how they are feeling, see just a common, like a common counselor. So yeah, so getting like I said, one-on-one time with student is just as important, as effective as group communication. So you need to ensure there is one-on-one communication with the students too. And yes, so using different communication methods like personalized responses to when you see there is a discussion board and they're discussing on some topics, you giving them some personalized responses, personalized feedback, or uh, some engagement with them, or or at least an email once in a while to the students. So yeah, it should at least make sure that it should make sure the student feels the teacher is invested in his growth. So yes, have, have one-on-one communication at least once in a while with as many students as possible. So make use of group and individual projects. Now we talked a lot about breakout rooms with discussions with as a group. And um, see, when you're giving projects, going forward further, when we, even though we work as a team, there is always an individual responsibility in a team too. So the students need to learn both ways, individually and group. So uh, always insist on some individual projects, always give them some group projects. So but make sure when the people in the group doesn't get the common individual projects, something like this, so that they grow both as an individual and as a part of a team, right? So yeah, The multivariety learning styles allow students to foster both group work and individual work. So a healthy mix of group and individual projects is the best way to ensure success with online learning group, and it will enhance their learning capabilities and improve their skill set. So when they have individual and group, you are targeting different different skill sets in each project. So uh, at least the learning capabilities, what they did as a group is different to what they do as an individual. So they are learning more. So yeah, it's an all-round uh, win for the students. So use resources that are readily available. Now you have your own coursework, which you do for or this or the co- or the period of time, but still, when we talked about indulging them in content, so that they learn more, which we spoke in the third slide, third personal trait. So uh, you need to make them use the other resources that are readily available. Now everyone is online, right? Everyone is online now. What do um, in online, you can see a lot of again a lot of material which they can study, a lot of discussion boards where they can ask some questions or do some innovative projects, this kind of stuff. So you need to make sure they are using those kind of resources, right? Students as engaged internet for online classes, encourage them to use this source by going online for relevant resources. So ask them to, dig more on certain topics when they, let's say they had a question on certain topic, they clarified, ask them to dig more on the topic, ask them to go online, dig for, and ask them to present it in the class. So, uh, again, this is individual project and a group. As a group, he has presented it. So you are doing multiple things at a time, and you are making him more attracted to the content that he raised. So yes, that's a good way to engage the students. So digital publications, news sites, online videos. So these are, I mean, you don't need to teach them where to go; they know it. But still, when you find something interesting, you can share it to them. Tell them, you know, they have some good publication on these topics in this website, or in this link. You can access this link for better content. So something like this. When you keep on doing it, they they will uh, they will invest their time whenever they are free, and it will help them in their journey. So engagement of this nature is more ideal than if they have to refer to an outdated textbooks. So yeah. So uh, one crucial thing is like, sometimes you get a lot of uh, data that is not validated also, but still the stuff that you get online, especially when you know it is good, and when you pass it on, when they access these websites, so they will get a uh, uh, lot of data, a lot of insights on the topics, and it really improves them. Instead of just reading a textbook over and over again. So uh, you always um, encourage them to go online to um, probably see videos, see digital publications, ask them to present them in the class, ask them to give what they have understood from this kind of exercise. So it always improves both the communication skills, the technical skills, and it makes them better leaders for the future. Yeah. So uh, nowadays, this is one big challenge for people, that when network is down, they don't know what to do. and then have a closing activity. So when we're closing, right? So what is it? What is that they're taking it from them? A small gist saying, so this is the main thing that we have learned in this particular chapter, or in this particular course, or in this particular session. So always have a closing activity. So what is the student taking away from the course? You can give them some uh, creative assignments to, you know, uh, improve on what they have listened, so that when they immediately do these kind of assignments or some work, it really ingrains in their brain. So yeah, best way to achieve this with the final summary or assessment. So yeah, assessment or some creative assignment, something of the sort. So or a summary, just small gist. So allow student to reflect on content and experience shared, so that everyone is made aware of what they're taking away from the course. So yeah, those are the 10 things. 10 things for being effective on uh, when you're teaching online. Best practices. So, but what is the skill that makes online teachers more effective? I mean, we are almost at the end. So, just one last thing. So, when we see, we have spoke about multiple things, right? We have spoke about how to be present with them, how to uh, bring more content into their routines, how to engage them with their peers, with one-on-one, so different kind of things. But there is one skill in teachers uh, which make them effective. Let's see what it is. So, but every one of us feels something is important. So, communication skills, subject expertise, current industry knowledge, advanced technological prowess. So, yes, everything is correct. There is nothing wrong or right in this. But there is one real talent or a skill that is often overlooked, and that is patience, right? So your ability to be patient has a massive impact on of how effective you are. It can directly affect overall outcomes for both you and your students. Uh, the reason why the patience is brought up is, now, like we have been talking for the past one and a half hour. So when there is no direct physical connection between um, you and the student, some you know how many times the students, they don't submit the assignment or the assessments, or they they find some excuses and all. So now it's offline. Then you, the the habit obviously increases rather than decreases. So uh, the patience is very important. You need to develop it, but there should be some point where at least you should run out of it, and at least you need to remind them. You need to uh, uh, the first thing is give them the chance, and then only. So that is where your patience comes in, right? So um, build on your patience and have a good relationship with your students. Yeah, 5 ways online teachers can help students achieve. So communicate around obstacles. So uh, when you consider the possibility that sometimes when a student is abrupt, he or she might simply be anxious. Reduce confusion with student confusion when they are struggling to understand. Uh, we need to once again teach them the core idea, and probably offer them a couple of more examples, or uh, or maybe the student gives some more example, and ask if what they have understood is correct or not. So yes, reduce student confusion, calm and reassure panicking students. uh, so yeah, you know, students, for example, when they we see a lot when the first online classes started, how does how the true classrooms will happen, how can the learning be as effective. So there are multiple things, but once you started doing it, they were able to understand that you're doing in the same way as before. So yeah, so you need to exercise your patience, calm them, reassure them of doing your best to make them understand. So empower students to become independent learners. So with the online thing, you have work has increased. In fact, no question about it. But still, we need to empower students to become independent learners. That's what we discussed a couple of slides back, right? We talked about how we need to give them some individual projects, how we need to make them um, uh, get more content, how do we need to make the present the content, so multiple things. And then reorient lost students. So in class you will always have students, some of them, at least in a minority of them, who will be, who are not up to the point, up to the level of the others. So yes, we need to be patient with them. We need to encourage them more. They require more attention than the generally best ones. So yes, with so you need to work on these 5 points to effectively help students. So like I said, online teaching, like I said, your work has increased, in fact. And yeah, this one just remote teaching is easy, someone said, but all you need to do is transform. So a teacher is saying, all I need to do is transform my lessons for students who have never experienced distance learning before, continue to provide meaningful content, but nothing overly challenging, hold them accountable, but grade with grace, all while answering 500 emails a day and attending a 3 Zoom meetings, while my own kids turn my house upside down. See, simple. So you see, in a nutshell, this is what is happening for all of you. You know, um, yeah, you're doing your Zoom meetings, you're doing your uh, still your work has not come down. Your